Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillahi amma ba'd. So, inshallah, before we continue our analysis of our first surah, I first want to, inshallah, discuss today this topic which has not been discussed in level 1, and because this will, inshallah, be coming in many of the surahs which we, inshallah, gonna do now. So let's inshallah deal with this concept, and that is the concept of al-ismul mawsul. Ism mean noun or pronoun, and mawsul mean relative. Basically, in English, what we call as relative pronoun. In Arabic, we call it al-ismul mawsul. And please, wherever you have any question, you can unmute yourself and you can ask your question. So, al-ismul mawsul or relative pronoun. Let's see first that what it is. A word such as that, which, who, which begins a relative clause. This relative clause describes the noun which came before it. It looks like, something very complex, but it's very simple. Look at this example first. The person who was with me yesterday, if you see, I have underlined this portion, who was with me yesterday. So the person who was with me yesterday is my employee. The person is my employee. If you remove this part, the person is my employee. There is the sentence. Clear? Now, this person about which I am talking is described by this clause. So this clause is called relative clause. Number one. And number two, the word which begins this clause is called relative pronoun. In other words, this word who is a relative pronoun, and this whole thing is called relative clause. Who is the word which began the clause. So this word who word will be called ismul mawsul. Okay. And this whole clause, who was with me yesterday, this clause is called relative pronoun, relative clause. And this relative clause is describing one who came before it. Who came before it? This person. So the person is being described by this clause. This clause is called relative clause, and the word which began this clause is called ismul mawsul. Now your question about this point. Okay, no question. Let's move on. Let's look at the labels. The person, again, same sentence. The person who was with me yesterday is my employee. So this word who, which began the clause, is ismul mawsul. And rest of the thing, was with me yesterday, is called a sila or description. Sila or description. And both things together. In other words, who, this word who is ismul mawsul, was with me yesterday is the sila. Mawsul and sila together is called al jumlatul mawsula, which means this al jumlatul mawsula. Any question about this second slide about the labels? Clear? Let's move on. Now, obviously in English we know that word who, but what about Arabic? So in Arabic, al asma al mawsula. Asma is the plural for ism. Ism is singular and asma is plural. Al mawsula. Okay. Now, these relative pronouns in Arabic language have two types. Type 1 is called special relative pronouns. Okay. What are those? In Quran, you read a lot of time this word allazi. Allazi is masculine, singular, and it means the one who. And for two masculine, allazani. So allazi, allazani. If they are masculine, plural, then allazina. In all of these cases, it simply means who. It simply means who. But if it is singular masculine, then the word is allazi. If it is plural, allazina. Sometimes you deal with the pair allazani. In case of feminine, allati. Still the meaning is who, but who feminine. And allatani and allati is the plural. But remember this point and please pay attention. When number is more than two, which we call plural, and it is a mixed gathering or mixed people in which we have the masculine and feminine, then you will use allazina. Allazina covers both, because if you use allati, allati only covers feminine plural, but allazina covers both, either masculine or it is particularly masculine, but it has the, as per the Arabic grammar or the Arabic language, if plural is masculine, it can cover inside of it feminine as well. So this allazi family, you can call it allazi family. Allazi family is called special relative pronoun, and some of them are called common relative pronouns. For example, ma or man. Ma mean what? Now you may be thinking that you have learned that ma comes for negation. Today you are learning a second type of ma. So ma comes for negation and ma also comes for relative pronoun. If it comes for negation, it gives the meaning of negation. If it comes as a relative pronoun, then it gives the meaning of what. Inshallah, we'll see the example as well. And likewise, man. Man also mean who. Okay, man also mean who. So this man also, there are different types of man, like there are different types of ma. One of the man can come as ism mawsool. Inshallah, we'll see the example, we'll do the practice, but for now, we are just learning the vocabulary. So in a nutshell, on this slide, we learn allazi family relative pronoun and two more. What are those two more? Ma and man. Any question about this third slide? Okay, let's move on. Now, inshallah, we'll see examples to understand this concept. Look at this ayah. Allahu allazi khalaqa as-samawati wal ard. Allahu, Allah. And then you got the word allazi. As soon as you get any relative pronoun, you'll say that allazi will become ism mawsool. And after this, you need the description or sila. So Allah, the allazi means the one who or who. Khalaqa, created. As-samawati, the skies. Wal arda, and earth. So Allah, who created the skies and the earth. So basically, Allah is being described by this relative clause, which starts from allazi and end at wal arda. Obviously, after this, please pay attention. I did not quote the whole ayah. After this, something is going to be said about Allah. Please pay attention one more time. Once you use the word Allah, and then you gave a description of Allah, and now you are going to say something about Allah. But before you say something, you first describe this word Allah. Okay, so this word Allah is being described by this relative clause, which begins from allazi and end at wal arda. Number one. Number two, allazi will be called ism mawsool, and rest of the stuff will be called sila. Allazi is a mausul, khalaqa samawati wal arda is sila, mausul and sila together will be called jumlatul mausula, which is allazi khalaqa samawati wal ard, and this jumlatul mausula is describing this word Allahu. Any question about this example?
Assalamu alaikum, brother. Syed Abu Tahir here. So I have a question with respect to understand this whole Masula is like, so far we have seen the two types of sentences. One is Jumlatul Ismiya and Jumlatul Filia. Where this one comes under basically, is it coming under the Jumlatul Filia itself? Then where is the other parts of the sentence like the fail, file, and etc. what we have seen? And I'm not able to correlate. Is it the third type of sentence or is the same one part of the one another?
Very good question. Very good question. So because allazi is ism, I said ism mausul. It's a ism, so it will come in the category of jumlatul ismiya.
Okay. So even if the who, when it comes as part of the sentence, if it represents any kind of a tense, still it's part of the jumlatul ismiya.
This word allazi, which mean who, allazi is not having any tense in it. As we know that jumlatul ismiya does not mean that it cannot have any tense inside of it. For example, as we know that the khabar of jumlatul ismiya has three types. One is the one word category khabar, and second is the complete jumla khabar. Now, when complete jumla comes as khabar, this complete jumla can be a jumla of fail madi.
Okay.
So basically, brother Abu Tahir, the defining factor is how the sentence is starting, because sentence is starting with ism. In case it will be jumlatul ismiya. Inside of it, it can have anything, but it will come in the bucket of jumlatul ismiya.
Right. Jazakallah khair.
Yeah. Any other question? Please feel free to ask it, because this is something, this concept is very important. It is going to be used in so many, inshallah, ayat and analysis of the surahs, which will be coming in future.
Assalamu alaikum, brother. From the structure, it looks to me like it's like the complex sentence in English.
So what is the question, sister?
I mean, I'm saying that the structure looks like that it's what we call complex sentence in English.
You can call it, yes, you can call it.
Brother, if there is no allazi, then still the sentence will be jumlatul ismiya, right? With
Very
the
good
Allah.
question. Very good question. Very good. And very good point, actually. Yes, because sentence start with Allahu. For this reason, it will be still Jumlatul Ismiya. However, the khabar is becoming Jumlatul Failiya, because khalaqa is a fail madi.
Okay, jazakallah khair. Oh, sorry, brother, another question. The khalaqa in here, fail is, file is he, and khalaqa is fail madi, and about as-samawati. So
okay,
that
no problem.
ism,
yeah,
not in nasab status. So
it is.
all
It is.
are these
No, sister. It is in nasab status. It is
okay.
in, because this is from the feminine Muslim chart, Muslimatun, and then Muslimatin. So both.
Oh, okay. I got it. Sorry, jazakallah khair.
Yeah, because ati. Everyone, please pay attention. Sister raised a very good point. So basically, if you look at the sila mean description, which begin after allazi. Khalaqa is fail madi, and it is number one in the madi chart. And number one in the madi chart has a built-in he or huwa as the file. So khalaqa is fail madi, and inside of khalaqa, he or huwa is the file. As-samawati wal arda. As you can see, as-samawati, because it's a feminine ism and plural. Feminine plural. In ati is nasab. And we know that the status of maf'ul or object is always nasab. So as-samawati is in nasab status, it will become the maf'ul number 1. Wal arda, arda is clearly in the nasab status. So al arda will become maf'ul number 2. So halaka is fail madi. Inside of halaka, huwa or he is the file or the doer. As-samawati, maf'ul number 1. Al-arda, maf'ul number 2. So this khalaqa samawati wal arda is a jumla based on fail madi. It's a jumlatul failiya, but this jumlatul failiya is becoming the sila for allazi. Allazi is a mausul, and this jumla, which is jumla of madi, is the sila. Mausul and sila together is a relative clause which is describing this word Allahu. Okay, one more point just regarding the same, so inshallah we can cover that point as well. Allazi was ism mausul. Clear? Sila can be a complete sentence as you saw in this case, or sila can be a one word. So always keep in mind this point. Okay, so sila can come as one word, or sila can come as a complete sentence. And when I'm saying complete sentence, it could be complete sentence of ismiya or complete sentence of failure as you saw in this case. If there's no more question, let's move on. Look at this example now. Inna allazina kafaru la tughniya anhum amwaluhum. Now, inna, please pay attention everyone. Inna, sentence start with inna. So inna will become the mubtada. And now you need the ism of inna. As a ism of inna, what have you got? Allazina. So this allazina is playing the role of ism of inna. Why I'm saying this? Because whatever comes after the inna family, what comes immediately after the inna family, that serve the role of ism of inna. Clear? Now, because after inna, immediately after inna, you got allazina, and allazina is a ism. So this allazina will play the role of ism of inna. 1 point. Secondly, allazina is connected because allazina is a ism mausul, and ism mausul is connected with the next thing, which is sila. What is sila? Kafaru. Kafaru. Can anyone tell me what is kafaru? Anyone knows what is kafaru?
Disbeliever?
No, in terms of ism, fail or harf.
Ism, brother.
Ism.
Fail.
It's a fail.
It's a fail.
Okay, the sister who said it is fail. Obviously, now you need to tell me if it is fail. Fail has 3 types: Madi, Mudare, and Amr. Which one is it?
It's Madi. It's Madi.
Okay, it's Madi. Brother Amir, what is it?
Yeah, it's Madi. It's a third in the chart, third position in the chart.
Okay, it is Madi and number 3 Madi cell. Okay, brother Abu Tahir, Kafaru, what is it?
Looks to me Madi only, and I'm not sure.
If it is Madi, which number?
I don't remember the cell number exactly.
Okay, brother Hanif. Brother Hanif is, I think, in the class. Hanif?
Yes,
Yes, brother Hanif.
yes. I think it's now it's fail. Kafara, kafaru.
Excellent, excellent. So basically the right answer is kafaru is fail, and always try to recall, for example, you know the Nasara chart. Nasara, Nasara, Nasaru. This ending, this U ending is your sign. And secondly, it cannot be mudare. Why? There is no mudare sign. What is mudare sign? Fail mudare begins with something special. Who can tell me what is the something special?
Ya, ta, na, and alif.
Excellent. Sister, you can call that as Hamza because when alif has some haraka, we call it Hamza. So ya, ta, Hamza, and noon. These are the 4 letters, they always begin mudare. Clear? So it cannot be mudare, it cannot be fail amr as well. So it is fail madi and number 3 in the madi chart. Now, if kafaru is fail madi, please everyone pay attention. Every fail in Arabic language is a complete sentence. I said this in my video as well. Repeatedly, I said this point. Because sometimes when you only read one word, you cannot think that it could be a complete sentence because we are familiar with the English language, which at least needs 3 words to make a sentence. But kafaru is one word and kafaru is a complete sentence. Why? Because every verb or every fail in Arabic is a complete sentence. Now kafaru, it is fail. Inside of kafaru, whom or they or whom is the file or the doer. Clear? Or you can call it subject. In English, we call it subject. So, kafaru, inna, indeed, allazina, those who kafaru, disbelieved. And now Allah is going to say something about them. And what is that something? Lan tughniyanhum amwaluhum. Their amwal will not benefit them. So this part, lan tughniyanu amwalum, this is not my part at this stage. I am only concerned about ism mawsool and its sila. In this case, inna became the mubtada of the big sentence. Allazina ism mawsool and the sila or description is kafaru, which is a complete jumla of fail madi. Allazina ism mawsool, kafaru is the sila, mawsool and sila together is a jumlatul mawsoola. And now you will say that this jumlatul mawsoola, complete jumlatul mawsoola is the ism of inna. Why? Because we have learned this thing in the past as well. When things are connected to each other, we put them in one bucket. So allazina kafaru, because both of them are linked being a relative clause. So we put the whole clause in the bucket of ism of inna. And rest of the thing is the khabar of inna. This lan tughniya part is the khabar of inna. And we know that this lan tughniya part is going to be a complete jumla of fail mudare. But let's not deal with that at this stage. Right now, my only focus is this first part. Any question about inna allazina kafaru? Okay, if there's no question, let me open the Mus'haf to show you few things from the Mus'haf. Give me 1 second. Just 1 second. I just want to show you something from the Quran that how these things are further playing their role. So once again, let's look at this first page of Suratul Baqarah. Allazina, allazina. You see this allazina? Now we know that this allazina will become ism mawsool. And now you need the sila. Yu'minuna. Now we know that yu'minuna is fail mudare. And it is number 3 in the mudare chart. Which means that from yu'minuna, a jumlatul failiyah has started to play the role of sila. And yu'minuna will become the fail. Inside of yu'minuna, they or whom is the file or the doer or the subject. Bil ghaibi, ba is harf jar. al-ghaibi. Because of this ba, al-ghaibi is majroor. So bil ghaibi is a jar majroor. And we know that this jar majroor phrase inside of Jumlatul Failiya is called muta'alliq bil fail. Which fail? This yu'minuna. So yu'minuna bil ghaibi is a complete Jumlatul Failiya in which bil ghaibi is the muta'alliq bil fail. And this yu'minuna bil ghaibi is playing the role of sila. Allazina is a mawsool. Yu'minuna bil ghaibi is the sila. But hang on a second. Look at this wow. Job of this wow is that conversation is still continue, which means after the wow, this yukimuna, same like yu'minuna, yukimuna. It is again fail mudare and number 3 in the mudare chart. As-salata. From this word yukimuna, Jumlatul Failiya has started. Clear? And as-salata. As-salata is what? It is a ism and in nasab status. Please everyone pay attention. In Jumlatul Failiya, which started from yukimuna, if you get any ism in Jumlatul Failiya in nasab status like as-salata, this ism will become the maf'ul, which means yukimuna salata is a complete jumla in which yukimuna is fail and hum or they is the file, as-salata is the maf'ul. Even though it is still continue, but let's take a pause here. Allazina is a mawsool. Yu'minuna bil ghaib was to become the sila, but because yu'minuna bil ghaib is connected to yuqimuna salata, so this one is also in the bucket of sila. And wow, mimma razaqnahum yunfikun. So this yu'minuna bil ghaib, number 1, yuqimuna salata, number 2, mimma razaqnahum yunfikun, number 3. All of these are sila. Why? Because all of them are connected and each one of them is a sentence of Jumlatul Failiya. So allazina is a mawsool. All of up to here are the sila. Mawsool and sila together, Jumlatul Mawsoola. And we discussed before that this Jumlatul Mawsoola always describes something which came before it. Al-Muttaqina. Okay, Al-Muttaqina is being described by this description. Please, if there's any question in your mind regarding this part, please ask me.
So just Assalamu alaikum, brother, just confirming because the ayah started with alladina, the still that sentence is jumlatul ismiya, right?
Yes, yes.
Jazakallah.
Right.
But also the next part is mostly Jumlatul Failiya.
Sister, which part?
The sila part.
Yes, sister, you are right. You are right. The whole sila part is Jumlatul Failiya. Yu'minuna bil ghaib, part 1. Yuqimuna salata, part 2. Mimma razaqnahum yunfikun, part 3. Part 1, 2, and 3, all of them are Jumlatul Failiya, but they are playing the role of sila for allazina.
Yeah. So when the sila is like a sentence, then it should be Jumlatul Failiya. Is it a common thing?
Sister, this allazina, as I said before, allazina or any member of allazina family, either allazi or allati or whatever, it will be called ism mawsool. After that, it depends. There will be some cases in which the sila will be only one word.
Yeah, but if it is a sentence,
Then what?
then is it mostly Jumlatul Failiya?
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily.
Okay.
Because the sila can be one word, sila can be a complete sentence of ismiya or failure.
Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Walaikum assalam, Brother Hani. Sister, sorry, sister is clear now?
Yes, brother. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, Brother Hani, Bismillah. Bismillah.
Bismillah. Brother, because in this ayah, the subject is lil muttaqina in the previous ayah. So,
brother, just 1 second. I did not start the ayah from here on purpose because
yes,
I'm only trying to focus on Ism Mawsool right now. So let's not, I just mentioned this point because this was the link point, that what is the job of this allazina, all the way from allazina to yunfikun. Its job is to describe this muttaqina. That's
No,
all.
the reason why I asked about that one. So let's say somebody recite Quran from the middle of the surah, and then they start from the ayah that start with alladina. Is it possible that there is a loss of meaning when they only recite from the beginning of the ayah?
Yes,
Like that.
now we understand this, that this basically someone has come before it, and this allazina is describing those people. Brother,
Okay, brother. Yes, it's clear. Jazakallah khair.
And the reason, obviously, inshallah, inshallah, this learning process is like, for example, bits and pieces. Today, I'm only giving you the one, you can say that the one part of this whole puzzle. And that part is dealing with Ism Mawsul. Inshallah, we will deal with every single word eventually. But for now, I only want to focus on the concept of Ism Mawsul. And the job of Ism Mawsul and its sila, they together describe something which came before it. As in this example, muttaqina is being described through this allazina construction. And if you want to go further, from this allazina, another construction has started. Allazina is a mawsul, yu'minuna bima unzila ilayka wa ma unzila min qablik. From yu'minuna to min qablik, the whole sentence is a jumlatul failiya. Clear? And this jumlatul failiya is the sila for this allazina. But this wow is connecting this part with this part, okay? So bil akhiratihum yuqinun is connected with this part. So part one is yu'minuna bima unzila ilayk, and part two is from bil akhirati. Part one and part two are the sila for who? For this ism mawsul. So ism mawsul and sila, they are, this is another construction of ism mawsul giving here. The reason I am not dealing with the sentences, inshallah, I will deal with them. For now, just focus on this concept of ism mawsul and sila. Any question about this next part or the previous thing I said?
Brother, just when you mentioned the second ayah, so there is half atof with wa.
Yeah.
Is there any connection between
Yes.
two sentence with the
Yes.
Mosul?
Yes. Just basically from this allazina all the way till here, one relative clause or one jumlatul mawsula from this allazina to all the way till end is a second jumlatul mawsula, and this wow is connecting this jumlatul mawsula and this jumlatul mawsula to define these people.
Okay. Okay, Jazakallah.
Okay, now inshallah, let me give you a small assignment today, inshallah. Like I spotted jumlatul mawsula from this page, your job is, inshallah, that before next lesson, and please, I don't want to repeat these things. This is my strong recommendation to all of you, that please, take your homework very seriously. If you skip one thing, you just take it, easy, it will create one gap in your understanding and learning process. And we do not want, inshallah, any gap in the learning process, because inshallah, when you will do this exercise, you will come across different problems. Then inshallah, we can discuss those problems in our next session. That's inshallah how we're going to learn. So your job is from this page number 2, which start from ulaika ala hudam, this page 2 of Surah Al-Baqarah. You only need to find me 3 jumlatul mawsula from this page. That's it. That's all your assignment. It may have maybe 10. You only give me 3. So I just want to make sure that you understand the concept of jumlatul mawsula. If you want to go for more than 3, go for it. But minimum, please find me 3 jumlatul mawsula from this page. If there is any question, inshallah, you can ask me. Otherwise, we are done for today, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Alaikum salam.
Regarding the material for the second class, where do we get it, brother?
Brother, which material?
The presentation and
Okay,
stuff.
okay. Inshallah, I will upload this video, inshallah, after this lesson. And in the description, you can download the presentation as well.
Okay, Jazakallah khair, brother.
And by the way, inshallah, for now, you just keep downloading the presentation for your own study. At the end of this, I will give you all the presentation, inshallah, in one booklet form as well, or in one soft copy as well, just for the sake of your future revisions, inshallah. But for now, please download from the description of the video. Clear?
Just one last thing to clarify, brother. Jumlatul Mawsula is actually one form of Jumlatul Ismiya.
Yes. You are right, sister. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So inshallah, we'll see you on Thursday, but please do this homework and send it to me by Wednesday. Okay, inshallah, I will look at your homework and inshallah, I will give you the feedback. And if something needs to be, inshallah, improved, I will improve that as well. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.